Welcome to the Creative Plan Podcast Network. Join us as we share our favorite RPGs, one-shot games, tabletop games, reviews of items, and convention panels, and other exciting things that we run into from time to time. Sit back and enjoy the show.
Hi, this is Kelly, aka Trixie from Ragnarok and Roll, a Scion to Ragnarok story, and Tilda Wimblewick from D&D Journey of the 5th Edition. First off, I would just like to say thank you to everyone for listening to our varied adventures, as well as for rating us on iTunes and RPGpodcast.com. If you haven't rated us yet, we would greatly appreciate it if you could. And if you're looking for more ways to support our efforts, we are now on Patreon, a great site where you can help us continue making more podcasts, as well as some special surprises for our patrons. If you can, please look us up at www.patreon.com/cppn. Every little bit helps. And again, thank you for listening.
So welcome back to RPGaDay 2018. Well, you all are here, and I'm going to throw out the question of the day for RPGaDay while I'm doing that. How about that? You like that? Is that true?
Yeah, he did a video on it already, so.
Mm-hmm. I know. I've yet to catch up on everybody's posts.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And every year it gets worse.
Yeah, he's like,
It gets
I really
better.
feel bad.
Yeah.
It's like, I really feel bad. I haven't caught up yet. Wait, there's a lot to catch up on.
Hey, when everybody's doing videos, that's like 3 hours of stuff to watch every day.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're like at midnight trying to get that video out before midnight passes.
Well, no, see, there's a reason why I have a channel and yet nothing on it, because there's just...
How can a GM make the stakes important?
Are you sure? Because I've got, how can players make the world seem real is the 6th. So, we're 6.
We're 6.
We're
right?
on 7. Yeah. Because I already posted the 6 too.
Well, today's
So you're right.
Today
Can
is
it-
the 6th.
How can a GM make the stakes important?
They gotta be T-bone. And at least, inch and a half thick.
Woman's got to have her standards.
Oak, maybe maple.
Right?
It's supposed to be white ash. So how does the GM make it important?
How does the GM make the stakes important?
Cooking them well. No,
Right.
You can't take my joke. I already said it.
no. You described what the state needed to be. I described how to be prepared. I was expanding on your joke. Making sure that the players know that it's part of a larger story. That it's not just. I've always enjoyed, all the stories are tied together rather than disconnected serials.
If it's episodic, it's, connected.
An overarching story that's going on within each episode. That's all you get from me. Tell me.
I'll go next. Yeah, because recently a different campaign system, but at one point we're stranded on a place. We found a settlement from a completely different nation, and they went ahead and let us be there for a little while. And then, the GM kind of gave a little, all right, you can kind of throw your own secret ballot votes into the council for deciding the route that this town takes. And we're like, all right, well, the armory was more important than the library at one point. And that meant that we were able to buy some gear. But no, we can't really enchant anything. It's like, there's hospitals, but there's no law. So it's martial law kind of thing. So there's bandits, but everyone's healthy. Right. Those were pretty surface level things, but there was definitely some notions of we were kind of giving those very, very decision points things, and there could also be some future things going on too.
Like that.
Yeah.
Which that is an important one, giving the players control of the world, because it's not an MMO where pretty much you're on your set little track and you don't
Spoon-fed.
Yeah.
The storyline.
Yeah. I saw into it. I saw into these decisions, but I'm like, I know what the character is going to do, and me as the player knows the repercussions.
Right.
But that's what the player has to cope with.
Yes.
making the stakes important. There's different ways you can look at it. I think that, is like in a quest line, making the stakes important. I've already used this portion, so making it personal, but, making it important, getting player investment is important. So, in order to do that, possibly tying the characters together and through, character questionnaires, building the backstory so that they're intertwined, but then using that and building off of that to ensure that their investment is, there's stakes involved, if they don't do this. Meaning, if they don't follow through with the story or take action in some way, they're going to lose something major. So it's kind of similar to what you were saying, I think. Just said differently.
Repercussions?
Yeah.
If you decide to fight the bandits or the red dragon's going to go do something.
Right?
He's going to burn down the town that makes the alchemy potions, so now healing potions have gone up 200%.
Right?
That makes an investment.
Or he burns down the caravansary that keeps stuff on the road coming to the different tributaries.
So now the adventurers have to be hired as guards to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Right?
Or worse yet, the king's son was on that caravan and killed by a dragon. So the king now sees every dragon as an evil monster, including the good dragon that's like patron of the players.
Right? The silver dragon.
And then the king wants to kill that too. Wizard dice.
Yes,
Wizard dice. The best dice ever. Except for when you roll them and they keep rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling.
So what do you think? How do you keep the stakes important, not the steak of beef?
Honestly, I have really never even thought about it, and I don't think of the game in that perspective. I think if I'm understanding it correctly.
How do you like a GM to get you invested in the story?
Well, for instance, we had a really good bit of roleplay last night in the game, and I thought that was really great because it's becoming more and more loose, I guess. It doesn't seem like the game is as uptight as you're getting further on. So I think when you have more of a story and not always hack and slash, that becomes investment right there, because you have, as somebody who listens to podcasts all day long, and I listen to games, I get invested in the story, not just the action. And I could sit there and I can listen to them and say, oh, I rolled this and I rolled that, and I'll be like, oh, or yeah. But then, it comes to the story plot and you're like invested in it so much. And as a player, I know that from that perspective, you get invested just as much. So if the person running, gives that time for character building on that level, and your players are going to be invested in the game even more.
I definitely agree with that one.
Keeping the stakes important, though, because they're invested in it.
Right.
That's a good one. Because that way it's equal partnership and ownership of the story.
Absolutely. You're the guide, but we're the ones that are on this, roller coaster.
Mm-hmm. I'm painting the scenery, you're filling in the gaps.
Absolutely.
Which is everything.
Right. Because, when you're telling the story of us being in these tunnels and we're seeing, the mold.
The mold.
For instance, or the greenhouse.
Mm-hmm.
The theater of the mind, you envision it, you see it, you're like, okay, yeah, it's on the little map there, but then if it's told properly and you're invested in it, and you've got stakes in the story, then you're seeing the trees in there. You're seeing little, whatever.
The twig blades.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Are they toll stakes?
Banging.
huh?
Are they toll stakes?
No.
Because
That'd be
you
gross.
can feed yourself for a long time on
That'd
toll
be
stakes.
gross. Well, I mean, as a
And
hobgoblin,
keep feeding.
as a hobgoblin, I guess that would work. But
Troll is a completely different species than hobgoblin.
yeah, right. It's not cannibalism.
I cut the part
The other
you're
green
keying
meat.
off of.
I have an idea that for our keep, guys.
Hey, you've got to have some long-term plans here if you're going to move into this place.
No, and seriously, even though we're playing an evilish campaign, evil from whose perspective?
Yeah, you're just being a survivalist. It's not evil from your point of view.
Right.
You're an oppressed people.
Exactly. I mean, sooner or later, all these fools bow down to my God.
Yeah.
It's true.
The problem is, every other weekend, you had these young yokels trying to prove that they're badass, pulling up in their pickup truck with a six-pack, trying to kick into your dungeon door to prove that they're real men that aren't men yet, just because you look different.
We should have a room to deposit them in.
Well,
I think we found one last time.
The mole kid.
I think it was worse when they could grab a goblin and pick on him, string him up,
That's our
torture him.
job.
Yeah. Even
our
when
job.
the drought says not to do it, leaves town and comes back and finds out they strung him up.
Right.
Most heart-wrenching story ever.
I don't know. I don't even think I see it as justification, but like I figured it was like backstory wise, he was going ahead and any of those trade caravans coming through, it's like you're coming through my forest. That's my stuff now. I'm taking it from you. I'm taking it because it's now mine. It's he's not even justifying it, as like
the entitled ownership.
Yeah.
I feed here.
Woods.
This is my woods.
Yeah. You're the ones that come in and pillage my trees.
I'm literally raised by wolves, so
Right.
It's a territorial thing.
Yes, it is.
From that perspective, it's like, okay, so I don't understand why you have such a problem with me because I'm just doing what comes natural.
It's his nature intent.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is part of the whole meta story plot. Is you guys are going to be finding out what is the nature of a goblin. Why are goblins the way they are? Somewhere, I think, in the history, there's an elf to blame.
There's an elf.
There's an elf to blame. Think about it. There's that goblin-elf racial anger. I mean, why is it that goblins hate elves even more than orcs?
It's the bugbears.
Yeah. Bugbears, the murder mist bears, as the elves probably call them. All you know is this murder drop bear came out of the trees and did an extra 2d6 before we even saw him coming.
Who said bugbears had stealth? I'll take it. I'm just saying.
Were the orangutan arms not enough?
Right.
Thank you for listening to the Creative Play and Podcast Network. And feel free to enjoy our other shows, such as D&D Journey of the 5th Edition and Scion Ragnarok and Roll, a Scion hero to Ragnarok story. Thank you for listening.